If he wants to play PvZ specifically, then the Protoss player says, cool, I'm going to play Protoss. Well, then you're in trouble, right? This problem solved in AoE? Exactly, well, yeah, but the thing is, it's just like, we've not had that in StarCraft 2, so it's not something we're set up to deal with. And obviously, we only have 3 races, so like, drafting races is a bit funky in StarCraft 2 as well. So, yeah. I don't know. I honestly feel like it's mostly just like a tournament organizing problem. As, man, Reynor's freaking good at guessing when people are going to proxy racks him. He goes pool first here against what's going to be a proxy 3 racks of Cure in game number 1. So yeah, I don't even think it's an issue that people are picking different races. In fact, I think it's fun when Reynor picks Protoss, but from a tournament organizer's point of view, it is a problem because it is going to be unfair for one player, and it could potentially cause problems in the future. And I do think your tournament gets way worse when people both pick the wrong race, and then you don't have as good games because they both get the race they didn't want, and something like that. I don't know. Anyways, let's continue through, as we do have Reynor Cure game 1 with the 3 racks setting on up. And like I say, Reynor with the pool first puts him in a very good starting point against this. This is not a guaranteed hold against this, but it definitely pushes you in the right direction, if nothing else. So, going to be going the right way for Reynor as his first lings are going to come through. He sees the SCVs, and obviously Cure is going to be pretty upset about this because this is worst case scenario, especially 3 racks as well, because there's just so little transition potential at home. With 2 racks, at least you move into gas and stuff and so on. We do try and get the bunker up. The drones will pull to help out with this. The lings are going to go and intercept further units. Now, what are we going to do about the bunker, though? I mean, I guess the bunker's just not scary if you kill off these additional Marines. 2 of them are in trouble right now. 1 of them will fall. There is the first Queen showing up to try and zone out the SCV making the bunker, so the bunker is going to be denied for the moment. 1 SCV left to deal with. We're not target firing it just yet, as we do have the lings. Gonna have to pull back here. This bunker is going to get online, and that is a little bit problematic, not being able to finish off that other SCV. Now, again, it's not a huge problem because these lings are doing a great job of denying these extra reinforcing Marines, but now the ling count's getting low. Can we get that final Marine? Yes, we can. Reynor, a lot more lings on the way out, and I actually do think he'll get enough lings out here to defend this. I don't think he's going to be in too much trouble. I think he's going to get us around now. He obviously wants to get the SCVs, remove the repairing from this straight away. And this is going to be a pushback. Obviously, the hatchery is very easily saved. The Marines are still getting shut down. And the problem for Cure, again, is that he just has not much of a setup back at home. He still doesn't even have gases. So he's playing completely gasless. And that means that he has no tech, and obviously no tech. Terran player is not exactly a happy Terran player. Is there a world he still tries to maybe do like a drone pull or an SCV pull or something? If Reynor made too many drones and you SCV pull all in, it would be possible, right? Like, there's a world where it could work. I feel like he's either about to do that or he's going to save up for a command center. He builds an extra depot. And I guess he's getting ready to build a command center. He's still cranking out Marines, though. 250 minerals currently in the bank. There's the SCV pull. I mean, he was stacking up money and points. As uh-oh, we're actually going to lose a couple of queens. Reynor might actually be in some trouble on the tail end of this. We lose an Overlord as well. A couple lings go across, realize that this is an SCV pull. Now Reynor knows he's being all in, but he's got Marines on his natural, and his drones are stuck down here. Extra lings on the way. Ling speed is not going to get to finish. He loses another queen. Oh man, this is a little bit rough. He's going to try and fight this before the SCVs get here to help. This isn't exactly a great start. Slings are continuing to die, and well, here are the SCVs now as Reynor's going to have to pull up in towards his main, but he doesn't even have creep connect in the natural main. The queen makes the dart across the lack of creep spread. Well, what do we do now? Well, we're in some serious trouble, that's what. A couple lings around the back trying to slow down extra Marines here or there again, but just doesn't really feel like Reynor has what he needs to really make this work right now. SCVs are going to go hunting units. Ling speed's about to finish, but for what? I mean, there's too many Marines to really get a wrap around. The drones are stuck in a corner. They're going to go for the drill to the Marines right now. The Lings come in with their speed, but the Marines have got to the other side of the SCVs, and Cure is looked well. Actually, the extra Lings showing up makes a difference. Are the extra Lings going to be enough? No, I actually thought those Marines were never going to die, but Reynor actually does hold. 0 SCVs left in the game. Wow, the extra few Lings that came through last second there were clutch, no? This did not look like it was going to be good enough. And I would say it again, that extra few Lings coming in were just about what we needed to get the job done here. My goodness. A completely clutch hold with only 4 drones left versus a mule back at home for the Zerg, the Terran player. Lings with speed are honestly just very good right now because Lings with speed are able to surround the Marines and they can't be kited as much. And that's one of the big reasons why you actually do usually worry about this. There's the mules working away to try and produce a Marine count. Reynor getting some extra Lings up. With the Lings on the map, it means that he is zoning out some of the reinforcing Marines. So he's trying to stop the Marine count ever really collecting together. The more he can do that, the better of a position he's always going to be here, pretty much. New mule going down. As the Lings trying to get some more damage done. Going to fight a lone Marine. And this is the only Marine currently producing as Cure. Obviously, he didn't have a mule for a second, so he actually ran out of money. These Lings have to come back, though, and probably come and take this fight, as the Queen is going to take some hits straight away. The Lings wrap around, and that should be good enough to clean this up and get the victory. Reynor wins it with 4 drones left. GG, says Cure, and Reynor takes map number 1 of this best of 5. Sorry, it says best of 3 on the screen, but it is a best of 5, guys. To the upper right, the blue Terran player who will be looking at that last one thinking he probably had enough done with the Queens getting picked off and everything before the fight engagement, the big engagement happened and so on, and then just didn't have enough. It's Cure in the top right from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. The bottom left, our red Zerg from Kaisi Gaming is Reynor. Reynor's going to pull first again, and I think the thing is here is that this is a short map. He might just roach rush on this one and go full on aggression mode. Not necessarily blame him for that plan, if that's what he might want to do. Full going up, hatchery getting started. This under the way as we do have our racks going through on the main base. Reaper is going to start, and there's our 6 Lings. No gas from Reynor, so the follow-up roach is currently looking unlikely. Not impossible though. There's still a chance, guys. There's still a chance. As the gas going down, Ling's going to start to move out. Let's see them. They actually grab an SCV. So the SCV scout is denied. Well, I mean denied, but it gets the scout. Nice just to kill it up, obviously. Nice to get that little bonus, as we do have the rest of this continuing. Like I said, doesn't look like we're going to see a road thrown or anything, so Reynor just kind of playing the pool first in case he was going to get proxied a second time. Not the case. And we do perhaps get to see a little bit of macro game coming through. Reaper tries to get a Spore Crawler, and Spore Crawler does go down as the Reaper backs away. Couple Queens there to keep the Reaper pushed back. Factory will go to the reactor and start up a couple of Hellions. The barracks is going to land as well, and the Marine will start in production. So getting that ready to go. You can see it chilling on the corner. Link speed still coming up. And we do have our Reaper is continue to dance around at the front, being pushed back by a couple of Queens. Obviously, Cure would love to get forward here to be able to pick up some information. Yeah, drops a grenade there. That's all a setup to get rid of the creep tumors. And he does get 2 active tumors, so good job by Cure. Killing active tumors like that really slows down what the Zerg can do. Obviously, really slows down their map control, takes away a lot of what they're aiming to really create in these situations. You know, Veteran Sid, thank you so much. Fresh new Prime sub in the chat. Thank you very much indeed. So yeah, a few Hellions will move forward with the Reaper and the Viking. Now on the hunt for the first Overlord, which it is going to find off to the right side of the map. Drone's moving across, going to get to that third, just going to be seeing the Hellions, the Queens. Having a little skirmish. Obviously, the Hellions don't really want to fight the Queens straight up, but can't really get through to deal damage if you don't at least press in to see if there's any opportunity. Again, not guarantee that these Hellions should be dealing damage or anything along those lines either, but it is nice to kind of get in and check every now and then. As the Hellions back down to itself, and with the Reaper there, well, looking as though they're going to try and kill off some Lings. Viking going to go after an Overlord, and looks as though that will die in the next couple moments. The Stimpack is going to be finishing up. We do have +1 attack starting from Cure as well, and note the lack of third CC. These short maps, the Terran players really do like sticking on 2 bases and really making some big old pushes out of this whole thing. Hellions and the Reaper pushing forward. Just going to see a few of these Hellions around that left side. A little bit of creep spread starting to be denied here on the corners. Just getting those picked off. And just going to be seeing Hellions in the middle. Actually need to be careful on creep, of course, with those Lings showing up. These Hellions are going to be pretty important to keep alive. If you're going to hit a 2-base time, and having a bunch of Hellions that can roast down a few Lings or so in the fight would be majorly helpful. So really imagine that is something we want to keep up and alive in this. Just do you see those Marines pushing across with the tanks? This is where Cure is about to finish up +1 on combat shields. This really is where he wants to make his stand and make his fight. Coming around the left, we're clearing out a little bit of creep already. And tanks will begin to siege as well. Perhaps give us a chance to jump onto space on the bottom side. A few Marines coming through. The tank shot pretty okay to start out with, as obviously tanks are in a difficult place to deal with. Now, Reynor is one of those scenarios where one fight can swing supplies very quickly in this scenario, and here we go. This is the fight he's going for. I love that the Lings got left, or that Hellions got left with the tanks there to protect them from the Lings, but yeah, pretty good engage from Reynor nonetheless. He does manage to just split the Lings back for a few moments to minimize the Hellion damage too. I think that went a long way to just helping out that tiny little bit extra there. Nice little moment then as the Lings run back in. Again, trying to see if they can find anything extra, but not really turning out to be too successful for the moment. Now Marine's going to come running down this bottom side and going to go for a basically even. Can they get that fourth? I mean, it would be really nice if you can, but I don't think Reynor is going to give it to you all that easily. He likes to keep these bases up, and he loves having this as an option just to ping-pong between as well. Right, having that as somewhere you can head back to if needed is really, really useful. So it's definitely a reason to stick around there. These Marines going to be forced back a little bit as we lift up away, and we do get away. Job well done on that one, keeping the units alive. Into the main base we go. Medivac's trying to unload, but the Marines will not be in good enough shape. And so far, Reynor is doing a really good job of continuing against this. Now he is going to fall behind a bit on upgrades. That was kind of going to become expected here at some point, but I don't think it's going to be end of the world territory. I think that's still very manageable and playable. At least I would think so. So that's obviously still looking to be alright, huh? Cure's got another round of tanks now joining on the left side. I mean, getting rid of the tank count was the scary thing before, and if you can get rid of it one more time here, game is probably his. Reynor's already jumping on this. One of the tanks not sieged, and I love just where he's putting the units. He's so quick to split his units up and just spread them around the different kind of groups of units that are there, making sure he can really deal with this very easily. Just, again, fantastic job. Well done straight away. I've got to say that Reynor is continuing to play a very solid game of StarCraft 2 right here, and the thing is, it's going to get better for him very shortly because he's about to be finishing his own 1-1 upgrades, so these fights really do just improve on his side. That's obviously just a benefit that's absolutely worth having, so be very happy about that, I'm sure. There's our Marines and Medivacs on this left side. Again, it's just the tanks are all dead, and without the tanks, you just have no splash damage to really stop this Zerg army from being able to do very well against you, although that was a scary moment. And Reynor was floating some money here. In fact, he is missing lava to really keep on producing, so that might be a problem. Obviously, if you're missing the lava and so on, then yeah, that is probably one of the bigger issues you can run into. So yeah, 1,000 minerals in the bank. Kind of would love to spend that. He just started +2 carapace, that's fine, because he's not exactly spending all his money anyway. Because you have the double lib into the main, but there's a Spore Crawler wall here. So the Spore Crawler wall is mostly here because he doesn't want Q to just be able to, doom drop his main base after like being maybe backed into a corner where this Liberator is now with the main army. So that's actually kind of a cool note, right? Where it's like, hey, this preparation from earlier now helps me defend these libs. But yeah, it was definitely something Reynor's thought about earlier on in this game as he adds a round of drones. He's getting more and more comfortable. Of course, Cure is up to 3 bases at this point, so he did transition out of the 2-base attack into the 3 bases. But it was so committed on 2 initially that you're still kind of behind because it hasn't worked out, right? So here we go again as Cure is still trying to fight. This time the fight is much better for Cure though, and Reynor actually loses a lot of supply very quickly here. He's got a massive counterattack going on though, and well, Cure is going to be nigh on all in, 3 CCs or not. The only problem for Reynor is that he doesn't have a way to stop this army right now. I mean, that's a shit ton of Marines, and I will swear, just to get my point across, because it's a lot of units. Queens get across here trying to fight. Ling Bane might actually want to take this fight as the tanks are a bit far away. Liberator sieging up for hell, going to try and re-engage in a second time, but yeah, now it's going to become a little bit tough. 42 new Zerglings in production at the moment. Trying to, again, keep this number up as best we can. Marines and tanks over the right-hand side, and just going to be seeing the Ling count still producing here, still getting a little bit higher. He's going to go and try and stem forward, try and get a little bit more done as we come on through. I mean, the Queen's now going to be part of this defense as well, and now Reynor's got the surround set up also. He's still down a good amount of army supply, though. This fight really does have to be good for him. Really needs these Queens to tank some of the damage. Coming in from 2 angles will force the lift, and that means it's not really a fair fight. Again, he's just bullying Cure to always be running back into the Medivacs. Because the way it works is obviously he doesn't want to take the fight from 2 sides because the Banes will connect. And then Cure can't justify that because he knows that would be a terrible fight for him. But obviously, yeah, I mean, that forces him into the Medivacs. Then you lose your siege tanks, and that's why Reynor can win these engagements with less supply. He currently has 2-2, but so is Cure, about to even up 2-2. He starts his 4th base. Reynor running in there. Don't think he'll have enough to really continue that chase down. But nice to see him maybe giving it at least a little bit of a go. Now he's forced the lift off. It does really feel as though, at this point, Reynor's got himself a game number 2. I don't want to say in the bag. Obviously, these engagements can still go wrong for him, but I feel like right now, Reynor is the one controlling the game. And I get it, Cure's like the aggressor. He's the one that's here and there, but it does just feel like Reynor is the one that is deciding how these fights turn out. And these lips are nice. I mean, they got 6 drones. Unfortunately, it does cost you 2 Liberators, which aren't exactly cheap either, right? That's another part of the problem. Nothing's cheaper right now for Cure. 55 SCVs is looking toward a 4th base, which is a much needed entity, I imagine, at this stage. Grade 3 on the way up. Just going to see that CC moving over to that far right side. A lot of Marines around the top as we do have our Ling Bane force back over to the left here. Ultraless Cavern coming down as well. all of those additional drones in production. Reynor is really making sure he has a strong economy to rebuild off of following whatever fights he's going to end up taking in the near future. Yeah, they grab 2 Marines. We push down the bottom side here and get a little bit active again here. Just gonna see those medevacs lifted up pretty quickly though, and again, that's the problem. Every time he tries to do something, Reynor is pretty much just forcing him to lift up and back away. Reynor's getting ultras out, and the preparation for ultras out of Cure is pretty minimal to say the least, so I can't really imagine that is going to be looking too hard for him as the Marines come stimming through. Mine's getting set up as well, and gonna have those couple queens. Ready to try and fight some transfusions maybe necessary. Actually lose a couple queens straight away. Some Banes connect. Widowmine's not going off on much though, and that is gonna be nice for Reynor to be able to clean up these mines in a few moments, assuming he is gonna get the cleanup, which would be surprised if he didn't, obviously. He's very aware they are there. Just needs to get some detection in place, and it shouldn't be a problem. The push from Cure. They're both getting towards maxing out. Like I say, I just don't really believe in what you're going to do against the Ultras as Cure. That's why I think he's going to reach his biggest problem of all, as Reynor has not been able to stop Cure expanding though. So Cure staying active enough, and for all the things we're saying about Reynor defending well and so on, he has not been able to really attack himself. He had one moment where he counterattacked the third base and got rid of a lot of SCVs there, but that was a good long time ago at this stage. And ever since, Cure really has just been very much so in control of this game, as the Ultra, the Bane's going to come running on forward, the Medevacs will evacuate, and just maybe even going to wait out 3-3 upgrades, maybe even, I mean, Ultra speed off creep is very important too, as that was a group of Marines dropping into these Ultras. Parasitic Bomb helps you to get rid of a couple of those Medevacs as well, so great moment there from Reynor, who just slices through 20 supply of Terran. At the same time, he's setting up in the other direction, up on the top side here. And get rid of some of these mines. Sorry for the stuttering, guys. My PC on the Korean server's not been great today. Burrowed Bane lanes, kaboom! My goodness, they find a chunk of Marines, and that's going to maybe offset what was just sent over here. And now can we fight this? Not really, because the Lings are surrounding 3-3 Marines, and the Marines will actually stand pretty strong and will do okay. Wow, okay, I mean, yeah, honestly had potential if Reynor got more of the Lings there straight away, but there wasn't enough Lings there straight away was the problem. Now we have Lingbane Ultra going to come in from 2 different sides. Well, some of the reinforcements from Cure showing up as well, but he's not microing that backward army, so the Banelings are going to get through. Connecting pretty decently now. Finally, the supply of Cure is properly dropping, and Reynor, who's being really, again, like I feel like for the most part, kind of controlling the game, albeit not able to attack himself. He's going to get himself a massive fight, and this entire setup to the Ultras and all the rest has been worthwhile. That said, still hasn't even got his 3-3 upgrade, so that fight happened without him being on 3-3, so it's only improving. Although, to be fair, Cure is about to get up to Ghost as well, so having Ghost is also a pretty nice aid to have. So he's just going to go unload once again, and the Banelings are already morphing in over here. And there's a couple of Lings continue to go down. Ultra still coming up, +3 melee, about to finish. Lings in production. Reynor is max. Cure at 150. And if Cure really wants to try and fight this base, I feel like Reynor's going to have something to say about that. In fact, Reynor might engage into the base of Cure. It's a planetary, though, which is a little scary. Engaging into planetary is going to be a little tougher, a little bit of extra damage for the Terran. Let's see what the Viper can do. Ooh, maybe Blinding Cloud on the chunky units here, force them forward a little bit. Reinforcing mines are getting caught as they come through, and a couple of them do get burrowed. No! Blown up by the Baneling last second, so the Banelings say nuh-uh to the mines, and Cure types GG. Reynor wins it in 20 minutes on Waterfall, but boy, was it a bit of an effort. It was absolutely not a guarantee, and it was not a given. That was quite the fight all the way through to the finish line. Reynor 2, Cure 0, and now Reynor 1 map away from playoffs. Go to the top of the map to start us out here. It is going to be the blue Terran player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Cure. Taking on the red Zerg in the bottom left-hand corner, Reynor. So, my friends, we've got ourselves this game 3 coming in. Then the setup. Ready to go, go, go. Fun games as well. Obviously, that first one was the epic Proxy Rax Nelly one from Cure. And game 2, I will stand by. I feel like Reynor played well, defended well. Cure did a lot to keep himself in the game. He really did stop Reynor from attacking and stop Reynor from having chances to really attack and kind of make it a lot better for him. But it never felt like Reynor was in trouble because of that. It felt like Reynor still had a good plan, and once the Ultras came out, Reynor never felt like he lost a fight again. Yeah, I kind of waited for 3-3, which I don't think is really a major issue either, right? Getting 3-3 online is absolutely A-okay, and then yeah, I mean, the 2 fights after that were absolutely in Reynor's favor, so for all he was being kept back and maybe not able to attack, the tech he had on the way is something that Cure was just too slow to respond to himself, and even though he was establishing bases, Reynor was also establishing bases and had good control of the map as well. Overlord moving to the upper right side. And the Reaper is going to go and journey across to the bottom left. So away we go with little Reaper over here. Taking this out down the other side of the map, as mentioned. Lings coming through. Reaper going to take a little bit of damage, so a little bit being dealt. Bit of back and forth here as we are trying to work our way through a couple of these Lings. Drone going to be in a little bit of trouble as well, though. Bit of back and forth here for the moment as we do see the Queen coming through. Reaper gets chased away. And Factory on the way up from Cure, as this game is heading toward another 2-base kind of style, for now at least. Obviously, it's still potential to add a 3rd CC on, but it is, at least off the bat, going to be a little bit of aggression in the setup. That's the initial part of the plan here at the very least, so going in that direction. Hellions and the Tech Lab coming through, the starport coming online as well. Nice little grenade just to pop the Queen over to the side too, and again, there's Reaper just staying active nearby, just trying to get as much done as possible. Unfortunately, hasn't really found anything. 0 kills, no creep, no units. It's a little bit of information, of course, sticking around. The longer you stick around, the more you know what it maybe isn't going to be. At this point, I think it's fairly safe to say you know it's probably not going to be a roach attack as well. It's definitely seeming to kind of get past that moment for the right now. Alien still coming up, Banshee and the Marine on the way in, the Cloak coming through still. The Hellions and the Reaper around the left side. A couple of Queens get there, push that Reaper back just a little bit. Strange, we haven't had a CC first. We saw a CC first earlier from Bjorn. He's one against Reynor and one against Radata, if I'm not mistaken. There's definitely some CC first from Bjorn, for sure. I remember it. I think he did it twice, no? Maybe I'm going crazy there. He definitely did it at least once. That I'm confident about. That I'm very confident about. And she's going to be popping out here, starting to head down to the bottom left-hand side. Factory going to swap over to the tech lab. A couple of the barracks continue to come on through for the moment. Queen's been through, and actually this Banshee just sat in between the bases, but the Overseer is here, so that fast lair is going to be brilliant. That's a dead Banshee as well, so unfortunately for our boy Cure, that is going to backfire for him heavily. That's very expensive, in fact, so that really sucks, to be quite honest with you. That really sucks as we continue through. We've seen the hatchery taking a little bit of damage here already, and 2 shots going down. 5 drones actually end up dying. The Banshee in the main base is delivering, despite that first Banshee really not doing much at all. Banshee 2 is actually getting a little bit of damage done, which is nice to see. Nine drones have already gone down here, and again, just seeing a few more Marines continuing to join up. Combat shield just getting started as well. There's a 3rd command center obviously in play from Cures. This is an all-out aggression or anything crazy like that. So we have seen games, a lot of 2-base games today, so worth mentioning the fact there is a 3rd base, because like I say, it has been a hot commodity to not build your 3rd base at all today. Now we've got our Ling Vang going to go to the upper right side. Some veins come through. Just going to be seeing the tank and SCVs continue to get surrounded. 18 SCVs going down to the counterattack. Well, that's already great damage here from Reynor. Now all he really has to do is defend Cure's attack. Now he just lost his 4th base, but Cure is absolutely in some trouble. I mean, he's got 3rd CC, so rebuilding SCVs is possible, but it's not like he's mining off of the 3rd base right now. He just has this 3rd CC ready to go somewhere. These SCVs are still being slaughtered. 26 dead, 24 remain. In that regard, it's definitely not looking too great. Couple of tanks still sieging up. Marines are going to stim on forward. In they go, as we're going to be seeing the Evolution Chamber here immediately in some trouble. Yeah, I mean, what does that matter though? Reynor right now is just going to wipe the floor with this army. Yeah, he loses an Evo Chamber. Reynor doesn't currently have any upgrades on the way. I don't disagree. That is a little bit concerning, but definitely feel like there's a world where you can get through that and still kind of be okay with it all. Playing counterattack will not do much, but you're keeping the Terran player from taking that 3rd base. There's just so many, there's just so much that's not really coming through that you really want to have at this stage. Lingbane still gathering together. Marines are coming through. Actually might catch that Lingbane in the center, but Reynor is obviously very aware of it, so he's just going to pull it back, and it's not really going to be all that problematic here, as the Bioforce of Cure now starts to head down to the south side. Tanks will begin to siege. Reynor's actually supply blocked right now. Oh, are you worried that he never got his upgrades going? He's about to have a Hydrogen, which will improve this game massively for him. Kind of needs the Banelings to go up there first, but obviously taking the Banes first would be kind of rough because, well, everything else was going to get blown up. So the Banes would have got blown up, then you probably don't bust through, and then it's actually a big old awkward situation still. Reynor was somewhat struggling to find the fight, but the Banelings on the right side, man, they just got there in time, huh? They were just about there to what would have been an amazing connection if Cure hadn't lifted. And again, all Reynor was doing is he's forcing Cure to lift. He's bullying him back into the medevacs. And once Cure has to lift up back into the medevacs, from there it's just a clear run through to victory, no? Right? Because then the tanks just die. Cure is going to kill this hatchery, which, I mean, remember that earlier game where Reynor built a bunch of spores across his base? That's kind of why, because these units just dropping and stimming at a base can be super deadly super quickly. So one thing you kind of want to do is you just want to take away that opportunity from your opponent. And you want to kind of make sure you can't just jump in towards bases super quickly without anyone caring. Medevacs pulling away here. Cure using what he's got very well. Only 24 SCVs. Oh, what a scan. Catches the burrowed Banelings. Well, that's actually a pretty big deal as Ling Bane, Hydra Queen. Obviously, the Hydras especially will make this a little bit of a better defense, but he lost the Banelings here. Target fire was good from Cure. Without the Banelings here, Reynor will struggle a little bit to actually, well, let's say properly get rid of this force, but he's actually doing okay still. And while Cure does have reinforcements coming across the bottom, they are going to be much needed in the next few moments as the Ling Queen Hydra again coming through to really try and shut this down. Tanks against Siege. Marine's going to stim in from the bottom side. Queen's already dropping as well, so actually taking quite a bit of damage. And Reynor just get this cleanup, man. He's so close to being good in this game. He just needs a cleanup on against a Terran who is super dead otherwise, in really bad state. Obviously, like I say, the Hydra should help. They'll be a bit bulkier here. Obviously, getting upgrades too. He even starts his 2-2 upgrade, so it feels as though he can go straight into that without issue. Just kind of cool to again see a little bit of confidence there. Trying to get this hatchery. The Lings and the Hydras pushing through, gonna clean that out. Here's the big drop in the main. Reynor should be able to see that, but what can he get there in time to defend? Lings coming in, some Banes. The tank's on the low ground, so he's probably gonna have to get some units. If he can actually get tanks on the units on the low ground, then brilliant, because obviously the tanks do not really have a way to be evacuated here, so it would be pretty good to actually get those cleaned up. There's the lift up. And this time Reynor just backs away. 138 to 105 supply. It feels like the Terrans all day long have been just about hanging in there. As right now we don't even have the third base of the Terran in position still. I find that kind of amusing. There's Ling Hydra sitting on the fourth. Reynor saying, I actually kind of need to defend this base. Resources lost heavily in favor of Cure, as it should be, because obviously Reynor's been mining more pretty much throughout. And if Cure hadn't been trading better, this game would have been decided quite long ago. As this army gets wiped out, another one too. It does actually seem to be enough, and all that was necessary to finally close out this game. Reynor is going to get the 3-0, and he is going to win second place in this group. Cure